All right. Oh, yeah. Welcome back. You know what time it is. I told you we'd be live.
From the van, either in the van, from the van.
Fan in the Van podcast. Either from the van, from the deck, from the living room. Who gives a shit, right?
It is what it is.
But we're here, and a lot to discuss. But I'm gonna lead off with this because the NHL and the disciplinary committee, the safety committee, has become an utter joke. All right. So you have this guy on the Capitals, Tom Wilson, who all year has been the most dirtiest player on the Capitals. All right.
Yeah, I hate the Capitals anyway.
So Rangers are playing the Capitals, and he decides he's going to bash Pavel Bucevich's friggin' head into the ice, a few times and throw some jabs at him with his stick and, whatever else. Then he takes out Panarin on another play. All right. Panarin's out for the rest of the year. Really doesn't matter. What is it, like 1 or 2 games left anyway, and who really cares at this point, right? So the NHL disciplinary committee, based on the collective bargaining agreement, which is a bunch of bullshit, can only fine them $5,000.
$5,000?
Okay. So now here comes Rangers Capitals Part 2. Okay. All these fights break out because they want Tom Wilson's ass. Rightfully so. And Pavel Bucevich, I can barely even say his name, but whatever.
I can't say half the players.
He decides to cross-check somebody in the mouth. It's a bit of a message to Tom Wilson, like, hey, this is what you did to me, but you're not on the ice because you got hurt, so now I'm going to take out one of your own. This is what Tom Wilson has created. And Capitals fans are rejoicing in this because Capital fans, I guess, have no class at all. So, but before that, the Rangers put out a statement how this is ridiculous, how the NHL is only fining him $5,000, he should be suspended. They put out this big statement. And people within the NHL community, fans, other players, were glad the Rangers took a stand here. This is where this takes a turn. Gary Bettman and this fucking safety guy, friggin' Paros, whatever the hell his name is, they decide they're going to fine the Rangers $250,000 because they put out on a piece of paper their displeasure with the $5,000 fine and Tom Wilson's actions, right? Okay.
I see where you're coming from.
All right.
Damn, bro.
Disgusting. Utterly disgusting. Gary Bettman is a joke of a commissioner in this league and has been for years, and he wonders why viewership of the NHL, in my opinion, has gone down, and why nobody within the NHL is happy. You have a safety committee, right, who's supposed to enforce all this bullshit, okay? Supposed to enforce, dirty players are supposed to get the maximum fines, but apparently under the collective bargaining agreement, $5,000 is the max. But $250,000 for a bunch of words on a piece of paper. Then, in James Dolan fashion, he decides to do this too. Since the Rangers have been hot cold all year like a pregnant woman or a broad in menopause, and if you women take offense to it, it's nothing derogatory. It's just, I guess that's how you women feel during those times of your life. He decides he's going to fire the GM, John Davidson. He fires another guy. But David Quinn's still going to be the head coach of this team?
Sucks.
All rumors point that if Quinn gets fired, the captain will be coaching this team. That's right. Mr. Guarantee. Number 11, Mark Messier. And I'm all for it. All right. Now that we got that out of the way, now let's get to Yankees Astros.
Oh my God. Okay, all right.
Okay. So, we all knew what this was going to be. We've been waiting for this. As Yankee fans, we've been waiting a whole year for this moment to finally unleash on the Cheatros, okay? The Trash-tros, or whatever you want to nickname them, right? So, Altuve's at bat, and immediately the fuck Altuve chants start. This goes on for the whole series. Then it's Altuve's birthday the other day. Fuck your birthday. Fuck your birthday. What do the Astros do immediately after they win the other day? They file a complaint with Major League Baseball over Yankees fans being rude and unruly.
Are you shitting me, dude?
Now, for those who know me, who know I could be real blunt and honest, this is going to be real blunt, real honest.
That is some big shit.
And there's going to be a lot of vulgariness. But first off, fuck Dusty Baker, fuck Altuve, fuck Carrera, Bregman, and the rest of the Astros, whether you were a part of the scandal or you're on the team now. Because guess what? Everybody on the Astros got booed. And some you could feel bad for because they weren't on the team when this occurred. But guess what? You're wearing the jersey, now you're a part of it. This is an incident that went on for 2 years of stealing signs. That there would have been different outcomes
World Series.
in ALCL championships and a World Series. Okay. The Houston Astros now want to play victim. You created your own situation. Everywhere you go, fans are going to bring inflatable trash cans. They even took away. They even took away before the game certain signs. What happened to freedom of speech? What happened to it? Are we really living in a dictatorship at this point?
No, because you're in a stadium, dude. Everybody boos.
Okay. Let's remember and let's go back to Barry Bonds with the steroids. Fans were throwing syringes on the field.
I know. That.
And the San Francisco Giants never went and filed a grievance or a complaint. You know what the Houston Astros are? They're 27 fucking Karens. That's what they are. They can do as they want, but then when it's done back to them, they want to whine and bitch and moan. And you know what? Honestly, fuck Jose Altuve. And fuck Alex Bregman. Fuck them all. I don't care. And the saddest part is, again, is that you, as a team, and certain players, you created this. Bregman's not the only one to be blamed for this, and neither is Carlos Correa, and neither is Jose Altuve. And speaking of which, Altuve is the more hated one out of all of them, because let's go back to 2017, was it?
Yep.
Who should have been the real AL MVP? I believe he's 6'7", 6'8", plays right field, wears number 99, and plays in the Bronx. Oh, yes.
Aaron Judge.
Aaron Judge. That's correct.
Uh-huh.
Okay? And for you Yankee haters that disagree with it, well, then shame on you. All right? So now, they file a complaint with Major League Baseball. What in the Rudy Poo hell do you think Major League Baseball is going to do? Not a goddamn thing. And if the Yankees get fined for this, I'm telling you right now, it's going to be a shit show in Major League Baseball. You mean to tell me that you can't boo the opposing team because Jose Altuve freaking cried? They told me to go fuck myself. Guess what?
Dude,
everybody in the Bronx tells somebody to go fuck themselves.
You're in the Bronx.
Holy shit.
You're in New York.
In New York. Literally driving to work every morning, I tell somebody to go fuck themselves. Are they filing a complaint with the DMV? You know, like, are they calling the Suffolk County Highway Patrol? Yeah, this guy in the van told me to go fuck myself. Can you go pull him over? Get out of here.
I'll follow him.
You guys should not be known as the Astros. You guys should be known as the Houston Karens, because you're a bunch of whiny little basic bitches. Okay. Now,
I know.
There is no way ever Houston is ever going to be let down for this. Even if Jose Altuve's kids, which will probably grow up to be taller than him, are playing for the Astros.
Probably taller than him right now.
Okay? You can't sit there as an organization and really expect Major League Baseball to do anything about the fans.
Because
we pay.
It's going to be a chain reaction if there's
we pay hard-earned money to go root for our team and boo yours.
Don't sell beer then if you want to be.
And the Astros are sitting here complaining? Really? Like
that's a bitch move, dude.
Oh my God. When I heard that when I was listening to Carton and Roberts the other day, oh my God. I started laughing. I lost my shit at work. I literally had to go outside and friggin' laugh and walk around. It was disgusting. Fucking Houston.
You know what's pathetic? The goddamn Islanders fucking getting swept by the Bruins. That's fucking pathetic.
No, the Sabres. You guys haven't played the Bruins yet.
The fucking Sabres. That's whatever.
Yeah, but you guys will be in the playoffs anyway. Really all it is for seeding purposes. And again, like I told you the other night.
It ain't the point, though.
What I told you the other night.
I'd rather go into momentum than go into a losing streak.
Yeah, but you don't know what's going to happen when you play the Bruins. But look what happened last year. Nobody expected the Islanders to go as far as they went. And like I told you the other night, if they didn't have to play Tampa, I think they would have been in the Stanley Cup. I'm not saying they win it, but I think it goes 7 against where I forget who they played.
Yeah.
No, whoever was in the Stanley Cup final, because that's how utterly importantless it was to me. I really don't care if the Rangers ain't in it. I don't give a shit. But and then and it's just kind of, and speaking of Rangers, with the whole Ranger organization, right? I don't get this James Dolan. He comes out and he says, "Well, I think the team lost focus and the drive to win."
Let's see.
Then who do you blame that on? Because
the fucking coach. You can't.
You gotta blame. You gotta, because if the coach can't get you to win, how's the general manager taking the bullet for it? How? And why?
Hiring a coach.
And that's why I'm telling you. That's why I'm telling you. Even though Quinn hasn't been fired yet, he is going to get fired. I think they're just waiting, and then they're gonna do it because Dolan's got no balls, and he'll wait. Then they'll do it, and then here's the only thing I worry about with Mark Messier becoming the head coach.
I was just gonna ask you, what makes you think
he's already came out and said it.
Oh, okay.
That he would take the job if it was offered to him.
Okay.
The only issue I have with it, and it's not because it's Mark Messier, it's the fan base who's going to think that he is going to save this franchise. That like all of a sudden they're going to play like the 93-94 New York Rangers and go out there and practically be unbeatable. These fans are going to expect Shesterkin and Grigoriev to be Mike Richter and Glenn Healy in net. Yeah, that's how far back.
Well, I can
remember.
Mark Messier could draft pretty well.
And
good guy's a goalie.
You got, well, if you draft the goalie, he's not going to be the starter because he's just not, unless he's like the top prospect goaltender coming out. Then yeah, but unfortunately, as Ranger fans, we're stuck with Shesterkin and we're stuck with Grigoriev as our goalies, and they're going to suck.
And they're gonna suck.
They're gonna suck. You know, people say I never bash my teams. Well, here I am bashing them, and what am I gonna do? Tell you freaking dead freaking Shesterkin and Grigoriev or Patrick Watt and Dominic Hasek in that? They're not even a mere nut hair either or. Friggin' disgusting. And then on the NFL note, Patriots, no Sony Michel 5th-year option. Kind of figured that was coming.
That sucks.
Yeah, well, it sucks for New England. But guess what? I don't give a shit.
Nope, I don't give a fuck either.
I really don't care.
You see Tom Brady's new $9 million yacht?
Who cares about Tom Brady's $9 million yacht? Guys freaking parading around $9 million yacht buying a $17 million mansion. It's probably Derek Jeter's too. Well, he actually came out and he's kind of against these voluntary OTAs. He goes, you don't see pitchers throwing 95 miles an hour in December, do you? No. And we got to get, and of course it's going to get discussed is Aaron Rodgers. So we might as well just tackle it.
He's not going to play this year.
Denver right now looks like the main destination if a trade happens.
That he wants to go.
That's where he's going to go. And if you are Green Bay and you decide to pull the trigger, because they're already looking at quarterbacks to add to the depth chart, because right now the only other quarterback they got is Jordan Love.
I know.
So, with that being said, they're looking at whoever is going to get cut. They're looking at whoever they could possibly sign as far as undrafted free agent rookies out there. But a lot of people now are coming out, and of course they have to be anonymous players. I didn't read the report because I don't know if I'm going to really buy into it, but apparently one player, and of course he's going to remain anonymous because, if you got something to say, own it at least. And he pretty much said that Rodgers is just an egomaniac and it has to be about him. And it's funny how it's being said about him. It's the same way it was being said about Brett Favre.
Mm-hmm. I know.
So pretty much what happened years ago with Brett Favre.
Yep, 2008.
You know what it is, and it's not. Listen, I can understand if Aaron Rodgers was on the decline. If Aaron Rodgers was going 30 for 30, 30 touchdowns, 30 interceptions.
But this dude is still playing lights out.
But again, when you have a 4-to-1 touchdown to interception ratio, and you're putting up MVP calibers, and granted, yeah, you had Brett Favre and Aaron Rodgers, and in 2 decades, you've produced 2 Super Bowls. Okay, so I get where people say, where's the hype with it? because he
besides
chokes in
that-
a big spot. But then again, so have other quarterbacks. So you're gonna shit on one, shit on them all. And
But the past 2 seasons, bring your team 13-3. You know what I'm saying?
But-
you gotta get them weapons.
but the
especially
other
3 years on his contract.
but the other issue I have with this is if you're gonna, if you're gonna, I'm trying to think. It's been such a hectic day with shit with work, but if you wanted Green Bay to win a Super Bowl,
Why do you get him weapons?
why since '02 have you not drafted him an offensive weapon? Ever since '02, they've not drafted a wide receiver in the first round. And how many wide receivers have they could have
Dude,
been there
plenty.
that they could have gotten,
Plenty. And
and they didn't
every
do it.
draft is fucking loaded receiver. You kidding me?
And this draft, they botched it from the word go. You got him one receiver
In the
late
third round.
late in the third round, and Aaron Rodgers. Listen, I understand why he doesn't want to play, and there's going to be 30 different sides to the story. Oh, he's an egomaniac. And again, if he was on the decline, okay, I can understand it, because one guy came out, he said he doesn't want to concede being the head guy in Green Bay. That's the only reason why you guys have had winning seasons. Because again, if you take, and it was somebody posted something interesting. So, they said, does the quarterback make the wide receiver better, or does the wide receiver make the quarterback better?
The quarterback makes the wide receiver better.
It goes hand in hand. Because if the wide receiver drops every pass, makes the quarterback look like shit.
Yeah.
And if the quarterback overthrows the wide receiver, it makes wide receiver. You see what I'm trying?
It's about chemistry.
Okay.
That's exactly what
So-
it's about.
If you take Aaron Rodgers out of Green Bay, okay, for all these years, he's not the starter there. Is Devontae Adams the same Devontae Adams? No.
You can't say no. You can't say no. You can't say
You
yes.
can.
No,
You can. Because think of all the other quarterbacks Green Bay had, like the Matt Flynn's and now the Jordan Loves and whoever else they've had. Who was the other guy? Deshaun Kaiser. Okay? All those guys. They're going to get Devontae Adams the ball
No,
for 10,
I'm not
10
saying-
and 100 plus?
No,
that's
I'm
what
not saying. No, I'm not saying that. I'm saying if they never drafted Aaron Rodgers from 2008 till now, there could have been something. You don't know, but I do see where you're coming from, brother.
But-
you know what I'm saying?
But Aaron Rodgers also can't sit there and say, well, I want the GM gone, and
Well,
then I'll come back.
Well, that's the thing, though. Ever since this whole Russell Wilson thing, a lot of quarterbacks want more say. And
Yeah, but the thing is, if
That's the
you
thing.
want more of an impact of how your team drafts, then be involved in the whole process. Don't be sitting there living in your mansion in California and sitting there going from your ivory tower. Don't do it. Be there on the front line then with your GM and your head coach. Go to these pro days. But I also understand where. So when you take this year's draft, Tampa called Tom Brady's. They said we're drafting Kyle Trask. Brady was fine with it.
yeah,
If Pittsburgh was going to draft a quarterback, they would have called Ben and said, listen, we're going to find your replacement since you're going to retire at the end of the year. He would have been fine with it. Aaron Rodgers' issue is that they traded up in that draft to get a quarterback
I know.
and said nothing about it. So I understand Aaron Rodgers' frustration from that point of view. But if you think about when Brett Favre was the quarterback, did they call him and tell him, hey, we're going to draft this kid from Cal U?
no.
They didn't. So, if you're Aaron Rodgers and you walked in as a rookie and you saw this happen to Brett Favre, and you have to think, and at the time you didn't know what Aaron Rodgers was going to become. So, over the years, and Aaron Rodgers went from here to here, and his plateau rises and rises and rises and rises. In the back of your mind, if you're Aaron Rodgers, you got to think at some point they're going to Brett Favre me.
Yeah, but I don't think that's the only reason why he's
and
doing
I think
this right now. That's
No,
what started it.
I think there's
That's what
more.
started it.
I think there's more that meets the eye that's not out there.
Because I know damn well he wanted weapons. You know, I know damn well he did.
Well, yeah, they are.
And Manafort, they said, "Fuck you."
They are a piece or two away from being that Super Bowl team. Look at Tampa. As much as I hate to use them as the example, they went out and got Brady every weapon possible.
Even Antonio Brown
Every weapon. Okay, they have like 6 running backs and like 8 tight ends.
and 10 receivers.
Yeah.
10 10 All-Stars.
So if you're Aaron Rodgers, you're looking around the league like, okay, well,
What's he doing that I'm not?
well,
You know what
their
I'm saying?
GM is building a Super Bowl team, and their GM is building a Super Bowl team, and I'm up here in Cheeseville getting fucked.
Basically is.
Because
is.
if you expect, if you're a Green Bay fan, be honest with yourselves. Do you really think you're winning a Super Bowl with Devontae Adams, Scandling, Lazar, a somewhat now known tight end in Runyon, an okay offensive line, and a subpar defense? You really winning with that? But Aaron Rodgers has to realize this too. See, Aaron Rodgers can't play victim here throughout the whole thing. What Aaron Rodgers has to realize is that Green Bay needs weapons on both sides of the ball. But I understand from Aaron Rodgers' point of view that over the years they focused more on the defensive side of it and then gotten players
exactly
on the offensive side of it. And especially when you could, in this year's draft, Green Bay could have traded up to any pick they really kind of wanted to get that offensive weapon. They didn't do it.
We could even done it. You got 20.
And
still got there's 20.
But my issue is this. So if you're going to trade him now, okay, if you're going to trade Aaron Rodgers.
They're not going to trade him. Though.
Okay, but if the end result is they have no choice, they have to do this. Okay, they have to do it. He's insistent, like Deshaun Watson was in Houston. I'm not playing for you, and even though they're two entirely different situations, especially now.
Yeah.
Okay, you could say at first, yeah, they were the same because you're pretty much trading and getting rid of every weapon, but except in the Houston side of it, it's more uglier now because now you're involving allegations of
Everybody knows. Everybody knows.
When both situations started, yeah, they practically mirrored each other. And again, if Houston had just did the right thing and said, okay, you know what, to avoid any ugly situation here, let's just do it. Whoever's going to offer the most, we're going to take it. If you're Green Bay, in this trade, though, you do hold all the cards. Because you have something that Denver wants. What Vegas could desperately use.
I don't see John Gruden.
And honestly, I don't think Gruden wants. And again, like when we were guests on from the Nosebleed podcast, and I said Gruden's not the team that's going to coach this team to a Super Bowl. It's
definitely not.
He's not him. It's not him. Derek Carr is not the quarterback with all the weapons in the world, like Baker Mayfield in Cleveland with all the weapons in the world. These two ain't the quarterbacks that get your respected franchises to the mountaintop.
Over the top, I know.
They're not.
Aaron Rodgers is.
Aaron Rodgers, Deshaun Watson are right now, being since they're the most two talked about quarterbacks because of their situations, are the two that get you from here to here. Okay? And even look in San Francisco. Garoppolo says he has no issue with them drafting Trey Lance, and he's willing to coach him up and show him how to adjust to the league and everything like that. And see, that's a perfect situation for Trey Lance because you got to think of it from this point of view. Even though Garoppolo isn't that elite quarterback, San Francisco will survive because they have offensive weapons, because they have an offensive line. They have a decent tight end in Kittle. They have a decent run game.
He's a good tight end.
They have a decent run game, and now they got Trey Sermon from Ohio State.
Yeah, Kyle Juszczyk's too.
Okay, they just re-signed Richard Sherman, so that'll help with the secondary. As long as Garoppolo doesn't get hurt, the 49ers are a playoff team. Not deep, but they're a playoff team for at least the next year or two. After that, when Garoppolo's deal is done, Trey Lance will already be comfortable within the system, and it's not a rebuild, it's just a readjust. And it's the same thing in Tampa with Kyle Trask, because you figure, okay, Brady's got a year or two left, barring something significant, which a lot of people hope for, but let's be honest, it ain't going to happen. Kyle Trask is in a win-win situation for himself, because he gets to learn under one of the greats, and then when Tom Brady hangs it up and passes the torch.
Look at that team, dude.
But if you think Kyle Trask is going to have those weapons there when Brady retires, Gronk won't be there. O.J. Howard won't be there.
Brown.
Antonio Brown won't be there. A lot of those weapons that Brady has. See, those weapons aren't for Kyle Trask. Those weapons
I
are
know.
for Brady.
I know.
And this year, Tom Brady, the schedules, even though the official schedules get released, but guess who Tom Brady plays this year?
Steelers. Patriots.
So,
That's awesome.
Brady versus Belichick.
Oh man.
And you know what's funny is my hatred for New England is so high that I unfortunately have to root for Brady to beat him.
I know. Me too. I just wonder if it's in the beginning of the season, middle.
I think
end,
I forget. Well,
I want to know if it's
well,
Cam Newton or Mac Jones who will be playing Tom Brady.
See, and that's an interesting one because if you think of the weapons that Belichick signed,
Jonnu Smith.
you think those are for Cam Newton?
No.
Those are for Mac Jones. See, Mac
No
Jones.
shit.
See, Mac Jones is in a lose-win situation, and people probably be like, "What do you mean lose-win?" Okay. Unfortunately,
it's hard to play.
unfortunately,
Bill
Belichick. that all the expectations for Mac Jones are are pretty much the same expectations when he was the starter in Alabama. They're in essence expecting him to be the next Tom Brady. If you think New England Patriots fans thought Cam Newton was going to just come in and replace Tom Brady, you're not doing it. I don't even think Mac Jones, even if Mac Jones goes and plays for 20 years at quarterback for New England, and let's say Mac Jones wins 3 Super Bowls, that's not replacing Tom Brady at all. That's not replacing the 6 Brady won you. And you have to, in essence, have better stats than Brady when your career ends. And let's be honest, that's not going to happen.
That ain't gonna happen.
That's not going to happen. Listen, Mac Jones is a decent quarterback. But it's funny how when they talk about who's going to be the one that's the bigger name out of all of them, and they're saying when all their careers are done, when Lance is done, and Mac Jones is done, and Trask is done, that Kyle Trask is going to be the bigger name out of the top ones that were drafted. And
because Kyle Shanahan is,
and
he can do whatever he wants.
you could say
he's got a nice young player, bro.
You could say Kyle Trask, but the issue I have is you don't know if Trevor Lawrence stays in Jacksonville his whole career. Because if Jacksonville reloaded in the draft.
They did.
But if those weapons don't pan out, you think he's staying after his rookie contract's done?
Nope.
No. He's going to go to the next highest bidder because there will be a team out there who will pay the highest dollar to get Trevor Lawrence.
Man, probably Houston. they doing shit with David Mills this year, I'll tell you that much.
Well, he's not the starter. It's going to be Tyrod Taylor, and let's hope Tyrod Taylor doesn't need a shot before a game because we all know what happened last year.
Yeah, I know.
So I hope Tyrod Taylor. I hope the medical staff in Houston's a lot better than the one in Los Angeles because.
Not cool.
But I just keep thinking about this whole Houston Astro thing though.
No, that's fucking comical, bro. I had no idea.
It's like I'm literally sitting there. So the game ends, and they do the whole post game thing on WFAN, and then here comes Carton and Roberts, and it's about like a half hour or so in, and then all of a sudden you hear that the Houston Astros that they put in a complaint against the New York Yankees and the fans. First of all, it's not the Yankees organization fault. It's not the Yankees organization's fault
that the fans are.
That the fan base voiced their frustrations on a team that cheated 2 years in a row.
It's not like it was a regular season either.
And Dusty Baker wasn't the coach at the time when all this happened. A.J. Hinch was. And by the way, A.J. Hinch now coaches the Tigers, and every time A.J. Hinch comes out, he gets booed. He gets booed, and it's in Detroit. But then again, everybody in Detroit gets booed. So, again, and Dusty Baker says, this all needs to end with the unruly screaming at my players, and it's never going to stop. It's never going to stop. If you think it's dying down because as each year passes, you think people are just going to forget? No, it's not. It's not going to ever be forgotten. Just like the steroid era is never going to be forgotten. They're just never going to be forgotten. And I'm
Of
sorry,
course not.
those are two black eyes on the sport.
It is. No, it definitely is.
Especially when it comes to, no matter how you cheat the game, whether it's baseball, football, hockey, basketball.
It's cheating. Yo,
Okay.
It's
You in essence changed baseball's history. Because the Yankees could have had 28, but we don't know. Because it would have been Yankees Dodgers, and that would have been a World Series that everybody's been clamoring for God knows how long now.
I know.
And I think it's one that we're owed and due for. Now, do I think it happens this year? No, because the Yankees are playing like utter crap.
Yes, they are.
And it's funny because they'll go on this little, and even though Stanton's on this little hot streak he's on, with Barry Bonds-esque type numbers, where like in a 12-game hitting streak, he's got like 6-7 home runs within it. Okay, I get that, but the Dodgers aren't playing so great either. So, I mean, it's still early in the year.
It's possible.
But as each week and each month passes, and they keep playing like this, hot, cold.
2 sets forward, 4 sets back. Not.
I mean, and yes, everybody wants to blame Chad Green for that pitch on Altuve. You know what you really blame this on? Blame it on Boone's stupidity to take Garrett Cole out at 97 pitches.
I know.
Now, we don't know, and I didn't get a chance to hear the post-game interview with Aaron Boone or Aaron Boone on WFAN with Carton and Roberts today, so I don't know what his response was to it. But a lot of people say maybe Boone asked to be taken out after 97 pitches. I don't see Garrett Cole in that pivotal situation asking to be taken out of a game.
I know exactly.
Especially when Garrett Cole in other games has gone 8 innings and 110 pitches, which you rarely see from a lot of major league pitchers today, other than Garrett Cole and Jacob deGrom.
Yep.
So, why would you take out your stud pitcher at 97 pitches in the 7th inning? Yeah, I get the bullpen's been unstoppable, unhittable. Listen, Chad Green threw his pitch, and the midget wonder timed it. That's all listen, you make a pitch, you live and die by the pitch. Do I say that's Chad Green's fault? No, he threw the pitch that he was most comfortable with. Altuve got a hold of it. But the other issue is that then when the Yankees have runners in scoring position and they can't score.
We can't produce shit either.
Okay, because again, they keep relying on the long ball instead of playing contact and stealing bases and doing this, that, and the third. But play small ball. It don't always have to be about the home run. And this has been the Yankees' MO since the 20s.
Bronx Bombers.
Listen, I get you want to live up to the nickname, but at times, guess what? And you can't say that's Boone's fault. I don't think Boone's out there telling them swing for the fences.
I know, exactly.
It's the player, because they're like, oh, the only way they're going to cheer me is if I hit 110 plus mile an hour, off the bat, and it goes 500 feet. No, you know what makes us cheer? When we win a goddamn motherfucking game. That's what makes me. I don't care about I don't sit there and go, oh, look at the launch angle. Oh, look at the exit velo. Because guess what? I'll say it again. I don't care that Stanton hit 120 mile an hour. It was 120 mile an hour off the bat, and it had an exit velo of 45 degrees on an acute angle, and the sun was setting, north southwest. I don't give a shit. I don't care. You know what I care about? A fucking win. I care that my coach is going to leave the star pitcher in the game. If Garrett Cole had given up that home run there, then the same narrative would have been said, oh, big spot, and Cole gives up a home run. That's the only way they could really score runs on Garrett Cole is the long ball.
I wouldn't have pulled him.
I listen, and I didn't hear anything all day or get any notifications that Garrett Cole's been hurt, so why pull him in 97 pitches? That's something that I got to see what Aaron Boone said about it.
I couldn't tell you that, bro.
I gotta go and see. And, the basketball side of it, because we can't leave out
the New York Knicks, baby.
Listen, pretty much the Knicks are doing what they need to do. And then you have, in Charlotte, LaMelo Ball came back. He was going to be out all year, and
supposedly,
now. And let me tell you something.
He's got to wisen up, though, man. I stay out a little more if I was him.
I honestly think him getting hurt, hurt his chances of winning Rookie of the Year, and that Edwards in Minnesota takes it. But it will be a close vote. And And speaking of NBA, now the players are coming out and they're complaining about the play-in system now. You agreed on it.
We're in the playing system.
Where like the last like 3 teams that are so close, it's like a play-in tournament for the last spots. Okay.
Dude.
You agreed to it in a shortened COVID. Well, I wouldn't say in a shortened COVID season, but when every sport got shut down. Okay. You all agreed to this as part of going into the bubble, that there would be a play-in tournament. Whoever won, they get playoff spots. You agreed to it. And now, like LeBron goes, whoever invented this shit. First off, LeBron, shut up.
I know, I can't.
That's
Yo,
all.
I cannot stand LeBron.
Just LeBron, just shut up. Okay, just shut up because you're one of the assholes who probably agreed to it. Okay, and now he ain't coming back till like Sunday because he tweaked his ankle again. Yeah. All right. Yeah. Take Pamprin for cramps, you little bitch.
I know.
And it's. What you have to understand this as a fan of the NBA. Okay. Adam Silver's trying to make it a more interesting sport. And I like the play-in system. Because it gives those teams that were almost there a shot to...
Exactly.
Like, let's say you're like a Charlotte Hornet. A Charlotte Hornets team. And you're right there. And you get in this play-in game. And you win. And then you go on this hot streak.
Yep.
It creates a better storyline than just the same old, okay, well, the Lakers are going to play the Jazz and the Suns are going to play the Trailblazers. And
It's the way it was with Golden State Cleveland for 4 years straight.
And like when I was talking to one of the guys from the podcast we were on, we were messaging each other, and they want to be guests on our podcast. So I was trying to think of a debate to do, and I thought of it. And it's going to be interesting. I'm trying to, I guess it has to do with the NBA. Teams that overachieved and then had the big letdown. And one team ties into all of them because it goes through a split of 3 years and 3 years. So you know which teams we're going to obviously talk of, and that would be the Trailblazers, the Jazz, the Suns.
The Suns, definitely, yep.
Okay. Pretty much anybody who played the Bulls dynasty was a team that had great seasons and couldn't win the big one because you had to go up against numero uno in the league at the time.
Number 23.
The GOAT.
Michael Jordan.
And it's funny because people talking about, and how everybody talks about forming super teams, right? And somebody said, well, it's funny how KD needed Kyrie, and Kyrie needs KD, and James Harden needs the both of them.
Well, that's not true because when...
And you think about this.
KD's been out.
Okay. KD and Kyrie went to Brooklyn together. Okay? And formed their little alliance there. LeBron wouldn't get the knock on the super team thing if he stayed in Cleveland and Wade went there and Bosh went there.
Yeah.
Okay? The reason why LeBron gets the knock and will always get the knock and will always be the villain for this is because he had to form a super team with somebody else's team. And then he's getting the credit for it all. And nobody is giving Dwayne Wade the credit or Chris Bosh the credit, or let alone everybody else. The Udonis Haslams of the Miami Heat at the time. Nobody's giving them the credit. None at all. It's all, LeBron came to Miami and saved the Heat. The king. King this. King this. He literally, and listen, I don't care if you're a LeBron nut hugger and you could come at me all you want for what I'm about to say. He wants to live in Michael Jordan's shadow so bad that he had to go and do Space Jam 2. He has to go out there every night and wear number 23. Again, I won't knock his talent. Because when he's on the court, he's as great as any of them. He's as great as Oscar Robertson. He's as great as Kareem and Wilt and Larry and Magic and so many others. But again,
he'll never be Michael Jordan.
There's a level that he will just never be at. There's just things that he will never be able to do that Jordan was able to do. There are just things, same thing with Kobe. you know, everybody had the knock on Kobe that he couldn't win without Shaq. And guess what? He won without
too.
Shaq. LeBron had to win with Anthony Davis, and LeBron had to win with Kyrie. And it's funny because speaking of that, they interviewed Kyrie.
Mm-hmm.
So Kyrie said, you know, when I look at Durant, I go, at least I know that motherfucker will take a shot.
Ooh, I know exactly what he was talking about.
So he's pretty much sitting there and he's going to LeBron. He's giving him that shot in the kidney, jailhouse style, and he's not wrong because Cleveland Cavaliers fans sit there. LeBron won us a championship. LeBron won us a championship.
Kyrie did.
Kyrie took the shot that solidified the championship.
LeBron James.
LeBron was the one who dished it off. Okay.
If he was shot and missed, guess what? It would have been a wrap.
And if you think about, big game shots. And even Michael Jordan had one in like '89 against the Cleveland Cavaliers over, I think it was Mark Price or Craig Elo, one of the two. Okay, and the Bulls weren't even a dominant team then, and Michael Jordan was already taking a big shot. And think about all the big shots that Kobe's taken and missed, and it never stopped him from taking a big shot. But it stops LeBron, and people could say, well, you know, LeBron hit the game winner against the Phoenix Suns, you know, like the 7th week into the season. That's not a big game spot. We're talking about Game 7, money on the line, championship on the line.
Jordan's done it every time.
And you're dishing it off to Kyrie because you know, deep down in your gut, Kyrie's not going to miss. And Kyrie wasn't afraid to take the shot. And you know what's funny? Could you imagine if LeBron was on the super team of the Warriors and not Durant? You know damn well he's passing it to Steph Curry.
Oh, you already know that. Him or Klay Thompson, whoever's open.
And I have to get into that because when it was when we were on the podcast, an interesting point about how these young kids that go out on the court, you know, they want to shoot like the Steph Curry and Dame Lillard. And listen, you're not Dame. You're not Steph.
You're not gonna be.
I get you 10, 12, 11 years old and you want to emulate what you see on TV.
But they weren't doing that either at 10, 11, you got to think about, bro.
But you think about this, at 10, 11 years old, who are they emulating? They were emulating Jordan. I know when I used to play basketball, I used to do the friggin' left switch to the right layup he did against the Lakers in 91?
With the tongue out?
Yeah.
No way.
Yeah.
I seen that shit.
Kid,
right hand, boom, left hand.
Every kid who watched Michael Jordan and played basketball emulated Michael Jordan on that court. Everybody, same thing with Kobe. Everybody does the Kobe fadeaway. I used to
lower the hoop so I could dunk on the bench.
Everybody emulates the Kobe fadeaway. Everybody when they take a shot now.
The Kobe fadeaway is the Jordan fadeaway.
Everybody now when they take a shot, you take a piece of paper, crumple it up, and shoot it in a trash can. What's everybody saying? They're not saying LeBron because if you did, it'd be a brick. Every time I do it at work, I go, Kobe. And I'm a huge Jordan fan, but yet you know you can't hate on Kobe, and that's and that's another debate. Is Jordan and Kobe, and where would you rank them all time? There's so many. You can't have Jordan versus LeBron. The only reason why is because everybody compares LeBron to Jordan.
Because of what? The number and then rings. That's it.
And if you're a true GOAT, you would have won in all the finals appearances you were in.
If you're a true GOAT, you'd be playing right now with that spread ankle. I'm sorry to say.
If you had the accolades that Jordan had, we're not hating on LeBron, but you don't. The fact that LeBron is like that big name in WWE that gets rammed down your freaking throat. Nobody likes you because of it, and you come out and you say certain things and delete your little tweet about a certain cop and saying, "Oh well, you're going to be next," da 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 da, and then delete it. And then when this person wants to have an interview with you about the tweet, you don't want to stand behind what you did. You're not a GOAT.
Not a man.
You're not a GOAT, not a man. Sorry. You tucked your balls in, then you're in. I don't care. I don't care. You cannot compare the two. Jordan versus Kobe is the debate that will go on forever because they're the only ones whose accolades would practically mirror each other. Style of play will mirror each other. And not only that, the reason why the people that LeBron will go and beat certain records is because, again, they play in a softer era of basketball.
So he will play longer. I understand.
He will play for another 2-3 years. But I do give LeBron credit for this. He did come out and say that he will never feel fully healthy again because he is getting older. He knows the clock is ticking towards the end of his career. And I just want him to admit, when this is all said and done, that
Michael Jordan's the GOAT.
But B, yeah, I had to win with other great players.
He won't admit that.
That's what he needs to admit.
No player will ever admit that.
He needs to admit that. He needs to admit that he needed help.
That's basically admitting that you're not the LeBron James everybody thought you were for the past 15, 20 years. I'm sorry.
No, because he is as far as the talent.
If he says that, I needed that to win championships, what does that say?
There are guys who play in this league for 15, 20 years that never won a championship and just played because of the love of the game. If Tim Duncan never won a championship but put up the same numbers he did, Tim Duncan's still a Hall of Famer.
Of course.
Tim Duncan wouldn't need one ring to prove he's a Hall of Famer.
Patrick Ewing doesn't have a fucking ring.
Shit, well.
You know what I'm saying? I know. But hey, he had to play in Jordan era. I know. Imagine him playing this era.
But there was the one year they didn't have to play the Bulls, and they should have won against the Rockets, but...
Yeah, fuck you.
And... there was something else, and now...
Kareem Olajuwon, Clyde fucking...
But there's so many debates, but one of them is definitely that, like teams that had to go up against the Bulls, that had the highest expectations to win it and couldn't do it.
Well, Charles Barkley did take the actual... One year he did take an MVP.
Yeah, but I was in Philly.
Yeah, what?
That was in Philly.
No, that was in Phoenix.
I think he won one with Philly, too.
No, I'm not saying the championship MVP. I'm talking about regular season.
Yeah, I think he won one when he was with the Sixers, too. I guess people forgot he played in Philly before he went to Phoenix. And he was more dominant in Philly. I mean, he was just as dominant in Phoenix, but he wasn't...
The Charles Barkley.
He wasn't the Charles Barkley at that point, because he was already... he was already a few years in and already worn down. And of course, obviously, the Yankee game's on right now. And what's really annoying me... Okay, so we got to discuss this, too, so we'll jump back into baseball. So the Anaheim Angels, Los Angeles Angels, but California Angels, whatever the fuck they are this year, release Albert Pujols.
Say what?
Yes. They release Albert Pujols, right?
Okay.
What do the Yankees need? And granted, yeah, Pujols is old.
We need a left fielder.
Really? Albert Pujols plays first base.
What?
Albert Pujols plays first base. We need a first baseman until Voit came.
What?
Albert Pujols could have filled in at first base because guess who's playing first base tonight? No. Miguel Andujar.
I heard that. I heard you.
Because they activated him and recalled him. Last night he had two home runs last night for Scranton Wilkes-Barre. Voigt's been tearing it up down there. But the reason why they're not going to go after Pujols is because Voit is pretty much a week away. He'll pretty much be ready for the Tampa road trip. But again, Miguel Andujar is a piece on the Yankees where you have nowhere to play him. Nowhere to play him. And it becomes now an insurance liability at first base.
Yeah, boy. I don't think he ever played with first base.
Well, no, they tried him out in spring training, and honestly, I don't know how he did because half the spring training games aren't on TV, so the ones that he played first base, guarantee you weren't on TV. So...
I don't know, man.
And I'm going to say it again. The Yankees need to rock Boone needs to rock the boat here. He needs to rock the boat. I don't know how you do it, but you got to do it. Because eventually, this win 2, lose 1, win 3, lose 1.
Eventually, he's not even going to make you to the wild card, bro. Eventually. It's not.
And especially with... and I think Toronto, honestly, Springer's out again. And I think Ryu on the pitching staff is hurt.
Yes.
So I think Toronto's going to wind up taking a step back at some point this year. Baltimore's just going to be what Baltimore's always going to be. And, in the cellar looking up. and Boston's winning games, and Tampa's winning games, and the Yankees have to go on this like monumental. They pretty much, in essence, to catch up, are going to have to do what I forget what year Athletics team it was when they won like 21 straight. Is like what they're going to have to do to catch up and take the AL East. But after that, they can't even let off the pedal. They have to go on like such a huge win streak to not only catch up, but then to just dominate the AL East to the point that Boston stands no chance and Tampa stands no chance, to the point that one or neither make the wild card.
We gotta start sweeping people.
That's the thing. And they should have swept it. With Garrett Cole on the mound yesterday,
you should have left them in.
You should have A, had more runs, and B, that's a game you shouldn't have lost. When your ace is on the mound, you cannot afford to lose that game. Because now tonight, we're playing the Nationals. I don't even know what the score is. I don't even know if I want to know what the score is. And Jameson Taillon's pitching. Now Taillon's been improving, just like Corey Kluber has been improving. And Corey Kluber's been improving. And I get every night you can't expect these pitchers to go out and be dominant. Like, if you're a Mets fan and you know DeGrom's pitching,
you already know.
You're already expecting 7 and 13 to 15 strikeouts, but you flip out and say this team sucks when he gives up three runs and gets pulled in the 6th inning because his pitch count's 102.
And you guys
and you want to know what? You want to know what? We do the same thing. So I can't shit on them if we're doing the same thing. And you know what? You know what's convenient? You know what's funny too?
What?
Jacob deGrom's first start. Do you know who he was against?
Yankees.
Do you know what the score was of that game?
3-0.
1-0. Yankees.
Home run.
DeGrom should have known then the Mets would never score a run for him. I'm just saying.
That's funny.
I'm just saying, but man, oh man, you know, yeah. And just the whole Ranger thing too. If you're Gary Bettman, how the hell does anybody take you seriously as a commissioner of the NHL? Like, because this safety guy, I forget his name, Paro, says the camera's gonna die. Decides that he's really not gonna. I'm sorry. I've watched games, whether they're Capitals versus Islanders, Capitals versus Devils, Capitals versus Rangers, Capitals versus Penguins. It doesn't matter. And I've seen how dirty Tom Wilson is. And all year, nothing has been done. Nothing. No penalty, no nothing till now. $5,000 fine. Ooh, big whoopity. Okay? His actions against the Rangers alone proved he's a piece of shit. Now, he came out and he said, oh, yeah, you know, I called Panarin and he says he's feeling a little bit better, you know, and he's, you know, pretty much he's like, you know, no harm, no foul. No, the harm and the foul here is that your cheap shots led to somebody being injured the rest of the year. Granted, the Rangers aren't making the playoffs, but he could have finished out the season. And that would have been it, but no. And then for Bushevich to do what he did against the Capitals, was it right? No. But it was a clear-cut message of, hey, you take out one of ours, we're taking out one of yours. In essence, like CC Sabathia. You hit one of mine, I'm hitting one of yours.
I remember that.
And that's why CC was so loved in the Yankee dugout, because he was that guy who would, you know what, fuck it, I could have pitched a no-hitter tonight, but you know what, you just hit one of my guys, I'm hitting one of yours, and then I'm going to stand there and dare you to come to the mound. You don't want to go to the mound. You don't want to go to the mound now against CC, because that motherfucker all of a sudden he's jacked.
You seen him?
Couldn't do that when you were playing.
COVID done him good.
Nah, this was before COVID. Retirement did him good.
Shit.
Retirement did his ass good. But
yeah, the camera wants that.
But it's, you know, but then to suspend him. It's the end of the season, and you're gonna suspend a guy, but you don't suspend the other guy, and the other guy's actions were worse than Bushevich's were. That's the comical part to this.
That's because of retaliation. I think that's why. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but there would have been no retaliation, and